These are real documents, declassified files, and incident reports, each one detailing unexplained events across land, sea, and sky. No speculation. No dramatization. Only the facts as they were recorded. Prepare to explore mysteries that remain unresolved to this day. Case 1, FBI UFO Memo, 1947. On July 8, 1947, an internal memorandum was circulated within the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It was not written for the public. It was not intended to explain anything. And it contains a sentence that was never officially clarified. This document appears in the FBI vault under a collection of memoranda related to unidentified aerial phenomena. It references information provided by an Army Air Forces intelligence officer. The memo states that 3 so-called flying discs were recovered in New Mexico. According to the document, these objects were described as circular in shape and approximately 50 feet in diameter. The report notes that each object contained 3 bodies. The bodies are described as humanoid in appearance, but smaller than an average adult. The memo does not describe how the objects were recovered. It does not explain who examined them. It does not assign a classification level. Instead, it notes that the information was relayed indirectly and that the source believed it to be credible. The document was forwarded internally and marked for further attention. No follow-up memo exists in the same file. No clarification was added. No correction was issued. Years later, the FBI would state that the document reflected unverified information passed between agencies. However, the memo itself remains unchanged. The date remains July 8, 1947. The language remains specific. And the lack of explanation remains part of the record. There is no conclusion attached to this document. Only a record that it existed, that it was circulated, and that no official resolution was ever documented. Clapperboard Case 2, Forest Ranger Incident Report, 1970s. Several decades after the FBI memo from 1947, a very different kind of document was filed. This one did not come from a federal intelligence office. It came from a forest ranger. In the mid-1970s, a written incident report was submitted to a regional office of the United States Forest Service following a night patrol in a remote, heavily wooded area of the Pacific Northwest. The report was routine in format, date, time, weather conditions, and location. Nothing about the form itself suggested that the event would be unusual. The incident occurred shortly after midnight. According to the ranger's written statement, the patrol began as a response to repeated complaints from nearby campers regarding unexplained noises coming from the tree line. The sounds were described by witnesses as heavy movement, combined with vocalizations that did not resemble known wildlife. When the ranger arrived at the location, no campers were present. However, fresh disturbances were noted along the service trail. The report documents deep impressions in the soil, measured at over 16 inches in length. The ranger noted that the stride pattern did not match bear tracks previously documented in the area. Photographs were taken, but no classification was entered in the report. At approximately 12:47 a.m., the ranger reported hearing movement to the east, followed by what was described as a single, low vocal sound. The sound was not identified as a known animal call. Moments later, the ranger documented visual contact with what was described only as a large, upright figure, partially obscured by trees. The report does not assign the figure a species. It does not speculate. It simply notes that the figure appeared bipedal and remained stationary for several seconds before moving out of sight. No pursuit was attempted. The ranger cited concerns about visibility, terrain, and personal safety. The report concludes with a standard phrase used by the Forest Service at the time: incident logged, no further action taken. There is no supplemental report attached. No wildlife assessment followed. No explanation was added to the file. The document remains categorized under unidentified animal. Clapperboard Case 3, Navy Sonar Contact Log, 1963. The next document was not written by a ranger, or an intelligence analyst, or a civilian observer. It was written by a sonar operator. In 1963, during the height of the Cold War, a United States Navy vessel operating in the North Atlantic recorded an unusual underwater contact during a routine patrol. The event was logged in standard naval format: date, coordinates, sea conditions, equipment status. Nothing about the document suggested it was meant to describe anything other than routine operations. The sonar contact was first detected shortly after 0200 hours. According to the log, the object was moving at a consistent speed beneath the surface, at a depth exceeding what was considered safe for known submarines at the time. Initial assumptions classified the contact as possible foreign submarine activity, and tracking procedures were initiated. However, within minutes, discrepancies were noted. The logged speed of the contact exceeded expected performance capabilities. The object did not follow standard navigation patterns. It did not surface. It did not emit identifiable propulsion noise. The sonar operator documented abrupt directional changes without any corresponding loss of speed. These movements were described as non-standard. Attempts to classify the contact using known acoustic signatures were unsuccessful. The log notes that the signal did not match profiles for marine life, surface vessels, or known submarine classes. At approximately 0218 hours, the object abruptly changed depth. The descent rate was recorded as rapid, faster than what was considered structurally tolerable for manned underwater craft. No implosion sound was detected. The contact stabilized at a lower depth and continued moving. Command personnel were notified. Additional sonar sweeps were conducted. No visual confirmation was possible due to conditions and depth. After several minutes, the contact accelerated and was lost beyond detection range. The log records the final notation as contact lost, cause undetermined. No weapons were deployed. No interception was attempted. The patrol resumed. Years later, this sonar log was declassified along with thousands of routine naval records. No explanation was attached. No reclassification followed. The document does not assign origin, purpose, or identity to the object. It records only what the instruments detected, what trained personnel observed, and what could not be explained using the information available at the time. The file ends without conclusion. Only the acknowledgement that the contact occurred, that it was logged, and that it remained unidentified. These cases are just a fraction of what remains in archives and reports around the world. Each file raises questions, yet no answers are provided. If you want more real documents and unexplained events delivered straight from the records, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your curiosity helps us uncover the next story.